Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. In this video, we're talking about 3 running backs you could target in the mid-rounds for fantasy football 2020 that you're going to get a lot of good value for. I like these guys. I want to share them with you. Let's get to it. Welcome, guys. I'm excited to share 3 running backs that you can get in the mid-rounds that you could target that have that RB1 upside. Now, before I get into this, guys, I want you guys to all get involved in the community below, in the comments. Yes, make sure you guys leave a comment below. Let me know who you like in and around the 4th to 6th to 7th round. Who do you like at the running back position? Really curious to hear your thoughts below in the comments. Smash a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to this #1 fantasy football podcast. Gonna help you guys dominate your leagues, and of course get the 16-round draft solution, first ever and only video training, guys. Gonna help you guys crush your leagues, guys. Head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com if you're in the car, or there's a link below in the pinned comment below for 16 rounds. I'm excited, guys. The game changer is here. All right, now, when I say mid-rounds, I'm probably thinking even the 4th round, as early as the 4th, because it's not early, because the first 3 rounds are the early rounds. I did a video on that, so go back and check that. But I'm talking these guys could fall to the 4th round, 4, 6, 7, 8. Now, I don't want to go too deep in the sleepers. I don't want to dive too deep. And understand, guys, I'm going to be adding more to this list. I just want to give you 3 guys, a kind of a snack, bite-size chunk here. 3 guys. Again, this may change after the NFL draft, but I think the guys I'm going to mention have solidified their positions, and they could go in and around the 4th to 6th to 7th round, depending on their ADP. We don't know that till the NFL draft. The time of this recording is April 21st-ish, 22nd. So you got to understand, guys, things may change. But the first guy on here that you can get, and I think a lot of people will be sleeping on, you could call these guys fantasy football sleepers as well, but the guy I'm talking about is David Montgomery. Now, I think a lot of people are going to sleep on him. I'm not sure where he's going to go exactly, but I'm assuming 4th round, maybe 5th, because he had a mediocre season last year. I'm expecting that to get a lot better for David Montgomery. I'll tell you why. Number 1, hopefully they improve that O-line. That's the number 1 thing, because this guy was creating holes when there weren't any holes there, right? So he was smashing through. I know he didn't look too exciting with his 3.7-ish yards per carry. I understand, but the work ethic is there. The talent is there. Now, I still think Nagy is a thorn in the side. I genuinely do. It's going to be interesting to see what Nagy does as a head coach. Is he going to utilize him? But the good news is that the Bears have to win because Nagy is on a short leash. So the fact that Nagy's on a short leash gets me excited, guys. You know the saying here, I got on my shirt, years to wow me, I'm not wowed? Listen, if Nagy, it's been years, right? If he doesn't wow us this year, he'll be gone. That's the bottom line. So the short leash helps me a little bit. I am excited about Montgomery as an RB3, RB4 on your team with some upside. Again, his ADP could rise. Maybe if there's preseason, if that happens, you see him showing flashes of greatness, you hear things that he's going to be the workhorse, that's going to entice me and excite me a little bit more. But again, with David Montgomery, man, 242 attempts, that goes up a little bit. They improved the O-line. That goes, his yards go up a little bit. He had 889 yards, but if his yards per carry go from like 3.7 to 4.2, now we're over 1,000 yards. Now, again, this is predicated on them running the ball more, improving that O-line. And the nice thing is Foles is there now, which is really good. So if Mitch Trubisky drops the ball, they've got a quarterback that could throw the ball. I'm wondering if they address the receiver, because I don't know if Robinson's a big enough threat for Montgomery to not face stacked boxes, because we want Montgomery to have a clear running lane. So again, a lot of things have to happen in place, but I think they're going to make the improvements to really help David Montgomery going into his second year to really rise. And I think you can get him in mid-rounds, or at least the 4th round, or just after that, which kind of counts as mid-rounds to me. And I'm excited, okay, for David Montgomery. Now, the next guy I'm talking about here, I think he's going to fall. I think he's going to fall the 4th round, maybe later. I could be wrong. He could go 2nd round, 3rd round. I'm not sure yet. Depends on where the ADP is. Currently, right now, I believe he is sitting at 20th, guys, on the Concheapsis rankings. 20th amongst running backs, okay? So to me, when I see that he may fall, 3rd round, 4th round, depending, right? 20th amongst running backs. So when you look, the guy I'm talking about is Melvin Gordon. Now, Melvin Gordon, I don't like the situation he's in with Phillip Lindsay, Royce Freeman. I don't know if they're going to get rid of Freeman or Lindsay, but he is a workhorse running back, and I genuinely believe in my heart of hearts the Broncos do want a workhorse running back, but they've been stuck in tandem with Lindsay and Freeman. If they genuinely believed in these guys, they would not have brought in Melvin Gordon. Now, again, I'm not excited about him because of the situations he's in, and I just feel that Phillip Lindsay could be a thorn in his side. That's kind of the one thing that's bothering me right now with Melvin Gordon is the committee. But I'm also saying that he's not going to be your RB1, so you're not going to get him in the 1st round. So imagine you go someone like Henry in the 1st round. And I talk about this in my 16-round draft solution, and I give you enough depth on your roster, you balance roster and everything. So imagine you go like Derrick Henry, come back round 2, go Josh Jacobs, and maybe get Melvin Gordon in the 3rd round. I think he'll fall in and around the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. We don't know. People might sleep on him because they're going to think Lindsay, right? He's going to be a thorn. Hopefully that happens. They're afraid of him, and then the Broncos decide to make him a workhorse. But I'm not going to gamble with him even as an RB2 for me. I want him as an RB3 as part of a 3-headed monster, okay? So again, not an early round guy, round 1, 2, maybe 3rd round. You could say he's probably an early round guy, but I think he's going to be more of a mid-round guy, 4, 5, 6, right? Not 6, but around 4, 5, right? I hope people sleep on him. That's what I'm hoping for when I'm looking at Melvin Gordon, because he still has that top 10 ceiling. So it has to be, this all falls on the shoulders of the Broncos. Now, the good news is in the draft, again, this is a couple days before the NFL draft, so I don't know. I'm going to be updating these videos. I'm giving you guys content now because people keep asking. They want fantasy content now. But they're going to probably draft an ace wide receiver to line up with Courtland Sutton, which is really going to spread out that field and open things up for Melvin Gordon. Now, my main thing with Gordon right now is the volume, so I'm excited about him. All right, the next guy. This guy could also be a guy that could be a 3rd rounder, 4th rounder, 5th rounder. People might just sleep on him, and that's great because he's sitting right now 23rd amongst running backs in the consensus, so he's going to fall for you. He's going to fall into those mid-rounds. He's not going to be an early round draft pick, but he could be an RB3 as part of a 3-headed monster. The guy I'm talking about is David Johnson. Why I love him so much is because I've met him and I know his work ethic. He's always been a guy that has had haters and he wants to surpass them. And a lot of people have been criticizing him a lot in regards to what happened with the Hopkins trade and, of course, being benched with the Cardinals. So he's got a lot to prove. Now, the good thing is here with David Johnson is that Carlos Hyde had over 1,000-yard rushing season. He had 1,070 yards, 6 touchdowns on 245 attempts. But he sucked in fantasy. David Johnson, a far superior running back, is going to come in, hopefully get more volume than the 245 attempts. So even if he gets 280 attempts, that's great. He's going to average more yards per carry. He's going to get more than 1,000 yards, and he's definitely going to get more yards, more touchdowns than 6 touchdowns. Not to mention they're going to line him up as a receiver and implement him in the receiving game. So guys, listen, when I am looking at David Johnson, I see a high ceiling. I see a guy that could definitely crack the top 10 and maybe has that ceiling of like top 5 potential. I love him. I love the upside. He has stated he wants to get to 2016 form yet again. And again, if you look at what's happened to him in the past, it was a freak wrist injury, and then also what happened last year with Kingsbury, benching him. And I think that was just one of the dirtiest moves I've ever seen in regards to real football, never mind fantasy football, where you are slated to be that running back 1, the workhorse on your team, and then you get benched. How ridiculous is that? So that's something that I think is not sitting well with David Johnson. That's what I genuinely believe is going to make him a top 10 running back again, if given the volume and he stays healthy. Again, health a concern a little bit with every player you talk about. We've seen it with Melvin Gordon in the past. We see it all the time, right, with players. So again, David Johnson, easily top 10 potential. So again, recap here, guys, mid-rounds. When I say mid-rounds, I consider the 4th round as kind of a mid-round because it's not really early, right? First 3 rounds. So again, these guys can squeak out in and around to the 4th round. If they do, they're great. I mean, if you want to reach on them, depending on where the ADP falls, it might be a reach to get them in the 3rd. It might be just where they land. I'm not exactly sure till after the draft, but I will tell you, I do like the upside of all 3 of these guys. I like David Montgomery. I think there's still a high ceiling for him. I like Melvin Gordon if he gets the attempts. And David Johnson, I mean, come on, man. This guy definitely has a chip on his shoulder, and he has to redeem himself. So I'm hoping that David Johnson has that great season. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we want. And here's another thing. When you're looking at these three guys, they're all guys that could get a ton of workload with some minor question marks. But I would rather have a guy like David Montgomery, who is slated as the #1 running back, than a guy like Nick Chubb. And again, David Montgomery, 3rd, 4th, 5th round, right? Who's slated as the RB1, then get myself a Nick Chubb, who's going to probably go at the end of the 1st round or in the 1st round, who is now lining up with Kareem Hunt, who's better than him or just as good as him, right? And if you guys don't know this, and I keep saying it, Kareem Hunt outscored Nick Chubb 6 out of the 8 games they played together in PPR. So when you look at it, these guys are in a situation that are, they could thrive, aside from Melvin Gordon, who could be in a committee. But again, if the Broncos want to go running back workhorse, they've got it. These guys are in a position, and they're going to be more value than those early round picks that are stuck in a committee, like guys like Nick Chubb or Dalvin Cook, who's been injury prone for years and hasn't finished a season. All right, guys, great value, some mid-round picks for you. 3 guys here to target at running back position. Montgomery, Johnson, Melvin Gordon. Listen, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Again, we're just having fun. We're talking, we're discussing, we're brainstorming, guys, getting ready for the fantasy football season 2020. I'm excited. Smash that thumbs up. I genuinely appreciate the thumbs up. Leave a comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.